small puppy lost its way in the jungle and accidentally wandered into the lion's territory. The rangers thought everything was over, but instead of attacking, the lion gently licked the puppy's head, as if accepting it as his own. The rangers watched quietly from a distance, completely shocked. Later, with a safe plan, they rescued the puppy and returned it to its owner. This moment reminded everyone that sometimes, even the scariest animal in the wild can show compassion and unexpected love. Dust hung in the warm air as the ranger truck rolled to a stop at the edge of the reserve road. The engine clicked down into silence, and the bush seemed to lean in closer. Noah lifted his binoculars and scanned the tall grass. "There," he whispered, not because anyone told him to, but because the place demanded it. A tiny shape moved near the shallow drainage line, pale against the ochre soil. It was too small to be a jackal, too clumsy to be a hare. It stumbled, stopped, and then sat down hard like its legs had forgotten what to do. A puppy. Even from a distance, Noah could see the way its ears drooped. Its tongue flicked out once, quick and dry. It looked left, then right, then up at the grass as if the grass might explain where it was. Noah's partner, Layla, eased her door open but did not step out. She kept one hand on the radio, the other on the frame of the truck. Her eyes were fixed on the open patch beyond the drainage line, where the land rose gently into acacia shade. "That's not near the village boundary," she murmured. "How did it get this far in?" Noah did not answer. He was watching the puppy's tail. It lifted, then fell, then lifted again, trying to be brave and failing in little jerks. The puppy took a few steps forward, then froze. Its head tilted like it heard something. Noah held his breath and listened. The bush carried sound in fragments, a distant dove, a soft rustle, then a low, steady exhale that felt too heavy to belong to wind. Layla's fingers tightened around the radio. She did not press the button. She did not need to. Noah already knew what she was thinking because he was thinking it too. This was lion territory. The warning signs were subtle if you did not live with them. The faint track pressed into sand, the clean scrape on a tree trunk where something large had rubbed its shoulder, the hush that settled over smaller animals when a big cat was near. Noah's eyes moved from the puppy to the shade line and back again. The puppy, unaware, trotted forward. It stepped into the open like the world was still friendly. It stopped again, nose down, sniffing the earth. It pawed at a dry leaf and pounced on it, then looked around as if expecting praise. Noah's throat tightened. He had seen adult dogs get nervous around this place, their bodies stiffening, their tails dropping as instinct finally spoke louder than loyalty. This puppy had no such instincts yet. It carried trust like it was a blanket. Layla leaned closer to Noah, barely moving her lips. "We can't rush in." He nodded slow. If they jumped out and ran, the puppy might bolt. And a bolting prey animal, even a small one, could flip a switch in a predator's brain. Noah had learned that the hard way with antelope rescues. Calm was not just kindness. Calm was safety. The puppy wandered closer to the acacia shade. Noah's hand slid to the dash and found the small pouch of dried meat treats they used for relocating baboons away from picnic sites. He took one out and broke it in half. His fingers trembled just enough to annoy him. He cracked the window a little, just enough to let sound travel without making a sharp click. "Hey," he whispered, as if the puppy could understand words through distance. The puppy's head jerked up, its ears perked, its whole face changed, lit by sudden hope. It stared straight at the truck, then bounced once on its front paws. Noah's chest tightened again. It wanted help. It wanted someone to tell it where to go. Layla lifted the binoculars from her seat and aimed them at the shade line. Her breathing slowed, measured. The kind of slow you do when you are trying not to be noticed by the world. "Noah," she said, and there was a different weight in his name now. He followed her gaze. Under the acacia, something moved barely. At first it looked like a shadow shifting. Then the shadow formed into a mane darker than the trunk behind it. A broad head lifted, the line of a nose, the pale catch of an eye. A male lion lay in the shade, as if the shade belonged to him. Noah's pulse beat hard in his ears, making it difficult to hear anything else. The lion did not stand. He did not crouch. He simply watched, still as a rock, his tail tip flicking once against the dust. The puppy kept walking. It was not running toward the lion. It was not chasing anything. It was just moving like it believed there was always another safe patch of ground if you walked far enough. Noah wanted to open the door and scoop it up. The thought was so strong it almost became motion. His fingers found the door handle and stopped. Layla's hand came over his, gentle but firm. She did not look at him. Her eyes stayed on the lion. "Slow," she breathed. Noah swallowed. He set the treat on the dash, unused. His other hand reached for the radio, then hovered. If he called for backup, more trucks might arrive, more engines, more humans. That noise could spook the puppy. It could also push the lion to move. The lion's ears shifted, listening, and for a moment Noah imagined how the world sounded to him. The whisper of grass, the scuff of tiny paws, the faint tick of a cooling engine. Every sound a message. The puppy reached the edge of the shade line and stopped. It lifted its nose, sniffing at the cooler air under the tree. Its tail wagged once, then twice. It sat down as if it had finally found a place to rest. Right in front of the lion. Noah's stomach dropped. The lion blinked slowly, as though deciding whether this was real. He turned his head slightly, studying the puppy with an expression Noah could not label. Not hunger, not annoyance, something else, quiet and hard to read. The puppy did what puppies do when they are tired and afraid, but trying to pretend they are not. It scooted forward on its belly inch by inch, and then flopped onto its side with a soft little sigh. Its paws twitched. It looked up at the lion like the lion was a warm rock. Layla's breath caught. Her hand covered her mouth for a second, then dropped. Her eyes did not blink. Noah's mind ran through every protocol he had ever learned. Do not interfere when a predator is engaged. Do not run. Do not shout. Keep the scene stable. Protect life where you can without causing a worse outcome. But the puppy was so small, so trusting, so terribly out of place. The lion shifted his weight. His shoulder rolled as he pushed himself up, slow and smooth. Dust puffed from his fur. He stood over the puppy like a moving wall of gold and shadow. The puppy looked up. It did not yelp. It did not scramble away. It simply raised its chin, eyes half closed, and wagged its tail once as if greeting a neighbor. Noah's hands went cold. The lion lowered his head. For a heartbeat, Noah saw only teeth and whiskers and the sheer size of a wild animal that belonged to no one. Layla's radio slipped in her hand, the plastic creaking under her grip. Then the lion's nose touched the puppy's forehead. Not a bite, not a snap, just a press. A long inhale. The lion's whiskers brushed the puppy's fur, stirring it the way wind stirs dry grass. The puppy's tail beat the ground twice, quick and happy, and it gave a tiny sound, more breath than bark, like it had been waiting all day for someone to find it. The lion pulled back slightly and, in the same unhurried way, extended his tongue. He licked the top of the puppy's head. Noah felt his mouth open without meaning to. He did not speak. He could not. His body held itself still, like any movement might break what he was seeing. The lion licked again, slower this time, and the puppy leaned into it, eyes closing fully, trusting the contact like it was comfort. Layla whispered, almost soundless, "What is he doing?" Noah did not know. He had seen lions tolerate vultures at a distance, ignore warthogs when full, walk past tourist vehicles like they were rocks. But this was different. This was deliberate, careful. The lion's ears flicked toward the truck, then back. He knew the rangers were there. He was allowing them to be there for now. Noah forced himself to breathe through his nose. He watched the lion's body language, the loose tail, the relaxed shoulders, the slow blinks, not hunting posture, not guarding posture, something that looked surprisingly like curiosity. The puppy rolled onto its belly and pushed itself up. It took one wobbly step closer to the lion and lifted a paw, placing it on the lion's foreleg like it was asking for permission. The lion did not move away. Noah's heart hammered. This could turn in a second. A single startled jerk, a sharp bark, a wrong step, and instinct could replace whatever calm held the moment together. Layla slowly raised her phone, then stopped. She lowered it again. "No sudden light," she breathed, and Noah nodded. Even a small flash could be enough. The puppy sniffed the lion's chin. It stretched up on its toes, then licked the lion's nose with the boldness only a young animal could have. The lion's eyes narrowed, not angry, just evaluating. He leaned back a fraction, then shook his mane lightly as if the puppy's breath tickled. Noah's fingers found the treat again. He broke it smaller, making pieces he could toss gently if he needed to lure the puppy back. He kept the window cracked, his arm resting still on the edge. And then the lion did something that made both rangers go rigid. He stepped forward, placing his massive paw on the ground just beside the puppy, not on it, not near enough to pin it, but close enough to frame it. Like a barrier. Like he was blocking it from the open sun. The puppy moved under the lion's chest, seeking shade and safety without knowing why, and sat down between the lion's front legs as if it belonged there. Noah's mind raced. Was the lion guarding it, claiming it, keeping it away from something else? Layla's binoculars swept the surrounding grass, quick now, searching for the answer. A faint sound drifted from the far side of the drainage line. A low, uncertain yelp carried on the wind. Noah froze. It was not the puppy. It was deeper, older. Another dog. Layla's eyes widened as she tracked the sound. "Noah," she whispered, "there's something moving out there." The grass stirred in a thin line, heading toward the tree, toward the lion, toward the puppy tucked in the shade. Noah's hand hovered over the radio again, his finger ready to press. And under the acacia, the lion lifted his head, staring straight into the grass where the movement was coming from, his body suddenly very still. The puppy looked up at him, puzzled tail slowing. Noah's voice came out as a breath. "Please don't run." The grass parted just a little more, and a shape began to emerge.